Good day. How is everyone? It's Friday, Free for All Friday, Free for All Hair Day. Good day, Sister Jeannie and Denise. Maybe I can get over to Ireland and we can do, maybe you can become a consecrated nun. I see you're here every day. I love that. CJ, thank you. I just finally read your email and got a good chuckle out of that. Miguel, hopefully you're watching, and I'm going to pass on CJ's advice. Love it. CW, thank you. Good day. And yes, I got, pardon me, I received your email and about Pythagoras and the Jewish Encyclopedia and the flat earth. What a combo of words there, huh? And William, good day. It is. So let's get started right away with Good Day Rising prayers. Get into an interesting topic I have about a Catholic nation. How do we go about setting up a Catholic nation? I'm really all about finding and discerning good ideas, and for those ideas that I can get to work in my own life, I do. That's the action part of our soulful journey here. We can all sit back and say, yeah, that's good idea, and not take advantage of it. And we don't go anywhere that way, so we don't make big changes. So grab that power, like I forget where I read that recently. It was off the website. Yeah, it's what the magicians do. They grab the power, they seize the power, and the action. And again, we're not looking to seize power. We're looking to move so that we can set up that Catholic nation, and put the Most Holy Trinity back where, in the position that the Trinity belongs, right at the head, right at the top, right there, guiding us. All right, let's get started with Good Day Rising prayers. In nomine Dei, matronam nostrae, et Deum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity and in Catholic contemplation, humbly adore the divine, and venerate the divine family. Most Holy and Venerable Holy Trinity, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O most Holy Trinity, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O most Holy Trinity, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. O most Holy Trinity, I firmly believe that thou art one God, three divine beings, Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. O most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. Let us beg of the Most Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O Most Holy Trinity, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Nisum Crucem et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend thee, O Most Holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. In nomine Deum, Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. All right. Still getting a lot of comments on that one mass where that so-called priest who calls me a so-called priest. And I think we really get under his skin. And again, it comes back to the ability to discern in humility. And if you can't do that, and I get it, that, you know, if you make that change, it changes everything about your life, and that you have to admit that you were wrong, or that your life was wrong. Not that you were wrong, but you were led astray. It's when you're led here, and then you, in pride, or I should say, you're led here, and then you get some of this information, and you judge it before you really do your discernment. And that's the key about judgment, is to discern first and then make your judgment. It's not that you shouldn't judge, but you have to discern first. All right, so this is going to take some mind. Again, it's that same thing that they've done to us with faith. Now, and then they have it done with our life in the U.S. I'm going to mainly be speaking about the U.S. And if some of you know that there's a thing called a sole proprietorship, and it's doing business as yourself, okay? There's definitions for it, etc. What this gentleman who I'm going to be quoting from, again, I really wish that he would come around here and grow up a little bit. But I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because he's basically he's smart. He understands this whole deception thing, but he has no idea about the relationship that he can have and how powerful he could help the Most Holy Trinity. There's RM. Good to see you. I meant to mention that he was having trouble with demonic attacks by entities out there who are doing evil things. So good to see you. I guess our prayers to shut that guy down worked. Okay. So anyway, the idea of a sole proprietorship is, and I was always curious about that. In New Hampshire here, you can go into a bank and open an account, and you put your name on it, and if you want to run a business out of that account, you can. Okay, with just your name. In New York, it's not that simple, if I remember correctly. they like to have you put underneath it DBA, and then if you come up with the name of what you're doing. But the name in all capitalized letters is the business. Okay, that's the sole proprietorship. That is the business. The ens legis is the business. Okay, and it, again, remember, it was created not by us, not by your parents, but by the state, by the U.S. All right? So it is an entity of, or a creation of the U.S., that all caps name. Okay? So think about that. If it's theirs, if it's their baby, then they need to take care of it. Okay? Now, over the years, in the beginning, they were, and then they stopped. And maybe they never intended to, but they ended up making you the parent, making you take care of it, the real human, living flesh and blood being. And that you are then responsible for all its issues, its debts. Okay? So are you following me here? So then, now if we turn that back the way it's supposed to be, okay, any debts of the ens legis, that all caps name, are naturally obligations of its creator. And the creator is the U.S. Okay? The bills must be paid. So any bills that all caps entity receives needs to be taken care of by the parents, the U.S. Okay? And not us. So and this is where I'm learning on how to affect that, and that's where this this guy Brandon Joe Williams is really doing a good job at it. Unfortunately, like I said, he's very vulgar and very low, and he comes off, from what I understand, he does this on purpose. He comes off as goofy and just really sleazy. And I think part of the reason, I was told anyway, that he acts like that is a front to keep the powers that be away from him, so that they just think he's just a crazy kook. Which, and again, I think I believe that he just has deep spiritual issues, and that's why he acts that way. So now that we have that understanding, I called the IRS yesterday because I hadn't heard anything, and from my payments, my negotiable instrument, bill of exchange, money order payments. Okay, each one falls within the definition of the other. So a bill of exchange is an instrument or a negotiable instrument, and within negotiable instruments are money orders. The agent that I spoke to, as I asked her, are they finished processing my account? And she said yes. And I said, well, can you look to see where my payments are, because I shouldn't have any amount due. And about a half an hour went by, and she says, well, you don't have proof of payment. Okay, and they're looking for the backsides of those. I says, oh, so you need to have the backsides signed, endorsed? And at first she said yes, and then when I tried to nail her down on that, she said no, on a money order, everything should be on the front. So I was figuring out right off the bat that she really didn't know what she was talking about. And so I kind of played dumb a little bit. And so she said, you know what, because you're being so nice, but you still owe this money, can I give you an extension of 180 days? I was like, sure, I'll take that anyway, so that I won't be harassed in the meantime while I get them to do what they're supposed to do, which is to process those. Now, what I learned after I hung up, is that the first negotiable instrument money order bill of exchange that I sent in that was processed was in June. And in May, so the previous month, they put out a new or an update on questionable payments in their manual, in the IRS manual. And because of that, because they had been receiving a large number of these instruments, they put these in as an alert, kind of. Okay, so basically, they're just slogging the process. They don't want these to go through, so they're ignoring them, they're dishonoring them. And so I am working on basically seeing if I'm, which I think I'm going to do, is have the tax advocacy service, which is another service that you can get to step in on your behalf to get them to do what they're supposed to do. So whether or not the tax advocacy service, or whether or not they're going to pick up on this same alert, I am not sure. However, the code, the UCC code, and the law is on our side, especially since now of what I understand about the debts being owed. Now, one other thing I learned yesterday as well, or the day before actually, was that there's another section in the IRM, the Internal Revenue Manual, about bill of exchange. So it's basically teaching their agents, if you receive a bill of exchange, you are to forward it and all paperwork over to the Department of Treasury, Office of Secretary, Executive Secretary. Okay, so maybe what we're having here is a terminology issue. See, so nowhere on my payment did it say bill of exchange, and yet even though a money order is a bill of exchange, they don't, they're not educated in this stuff. So now what I've learned is, okay, then they gave the address where to send that. So now I'm like, oh, okay. So, and again, thanks to Brandon, he says you can send your bills there to the executive secretary and have them process them, okay? Or, and he said better yet, is to make a change of address for this business, this ens legis, all caps name, and change the responsible party to be the Department of Treasury, Office of Executive Secretary. And then what happens? And if the IRS says that the ens legis owes, well, then the responsible party goes right over to there. So you won't get any bills from the IRS. I was like, wow, that's brilliant. Okay, so I think once I settle this with these payments that I have made, which I'm expecting refunds, I'll just send that in and have them take care of the things. Now, as far as other bills and debts of the sole proprietorship, all caps, ens legis, it should any obligation, especially from another corporation. So this is very interesting. And this is brand new, that as far as I can tell, like within the last week, that this information has come out. So usually you'd have better luck right in the beginning if you can get it into there right away. So that's one thing. All right, here we go. I always run out of time on Friday. The other thing that this gentleman is doing, I'll just take the glasses off because I can't see the camera, is he set up his own nation. And you say, well, how can you do that? Well, oh, now I need the glasses back. He did. He researched in the United States what it is. What is a nation? Okay, so according to 18 U.S. Code 11, foreign government defined, it states the term foreign government as used in this title, except in sections blah, 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 includes any government, faction, or body of insurgents within a country with which the United States is at peace, irrespective of recognition by the United States. Period. That's it. So he figures, well, I'm going to set up my own foreign government, and he calls it the Amnesty Coalition. All right? And it isn't a geographical nation. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't say anywhere in that definition about a foreign government if you have to have land or not. It's just a it's a group within a country that is at peace with everyone. Okay, that's how they recognize it. So it doesn't say anything about having land or locations or flags or anything. So I'm going to read his legal notice. He created his Amnesty Coalition, and anyone can join his Amnesty Coalition. And again, you can read his covenants there at the amnestycoalition.org. Copyright 2024. The nation of the Amnesty Coalition is legally a foreign government in accordance with 18 U.S.C. 11 and operates entirely at peace. The covenant of an ambassador outlines and defines all of our operations, which can be found on the covenant page. Any reference on this website to laws of the United States are mentioned only in an interfacing capacity, and the nation of the Amnesty Coalition does not, quote, operate under the laws of the United States, unquote. Okay, that was his legal notice. So I'm going to quickly just read a couple of things that he has defined here. A body, and that's one of the first things he does is on the website, is put the definitions, because you can't discuss things unless you agree on the definitions, or you can't engage unless you agree on you can't contract, okay? And this is why we have such a hard time with some people who come here and tell us that we worship Mary, and I was like, wait, you're not getting the definition, okay? That's not what we're saying. So you have to make sure that both parties understand. Body politic, state or nation or public associations. Society, an association or company of persons, generally unincorporated, united together by mutual consent in order to deliberate, determine, and act jointly for some common purpose. In a wider sense, the community or public, the people in general, period. Most of these definitions he's getting from Black's Law, 4th edition. And again, it's because it's a pretty well accepted book of definitions. And again, so my idea, all right, let me read one more. Nation, an independent body politic, a society of men united together for the purpose of promoting their mutual safety and advantage by the joint efforts of their combined strength. But every combination of men who govern themselves independently of all others will not be considered a nation. A body of pirates, for example, who govern themselves are not a nation. To constitute a nation, another ingredient is required. The body thus formed must respect other nations in general, and each of their members in particular, such a society as her affairs and her interests. She deliberates and takes resolutions in common, thus becoming a moral person who possesses an understanding and will peculiar to herself and is susceptible to obligations and rights. Unquote. That was from a case, U.S. case. See Idaho 1, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so because I'm running it short on time, the idea here is that we set up a Catholic nation. Okay, so that's another idea that I have. So that means that we need to look at that. The covenant is the key with our Catholic nation, okay, is what a nation should be, okay? And, all right, I should say, stop saying okay. That's going to take great thought, great research, CW. I'm putting you in charge of this. So the covenant that he uses here for the Amnesty Coalition is, I'm going to read a little bit about it. And you can see where they're going with this, very secular, very, again, ours would be a much higher covenant. The nation's state of the Amnesty Coalition is a temporary nation that is a large amalgamation of many different people from all races and walks of life that that all follow 4 simple rules. 1, be at peace at all times and never allow yourself or your world to be poisoned by people trying to manipulate you into some kind of warfare. Even the art of war by Sun Tzu is only applicable in times of war, since, quote, all warfares are based on deception, unquote. Then I suppose our transparency is evidence as to our lack of desire for war. 2, to devote the basic essence of your life to the creation, clarification and dissemination of the definitions and meanings of words, terms, phrases, and symbols as needed to expand and clarify this world. This dissemination includes presenting the meanings and definitions in a way that promotes excitement and understanding in the person receiving the information. And again, with that, I do like that one, and we can also add the idea, not the idea, but the practice of correct parse syntax, grammar with correct sentence structure, as taught by Jason Matthew Glass. Okay, so far he's been the one that I can see who understands and teaches it at the highest level. Something Catholic schools used to teach was parse syntax grammar. So, we had it in the beginning. We need to bring it back again. All right. This is an interesting one. The recognition and dissemination that the 14th Amendment in the United States was never legally ratified. The final few states required to make it pass were threatened under duress to sign, which nullifies their contracts and signatures, by the way. This is covered in detail in the first sessions of the 90th Congress, that the 14th Amendment was never legally ratified, and you pledge to assist the U.S. Congress to correct that massive misunderstanding. Congress needs our help, and we are going to stand with them to fix this situation. Now, he's saying to work within this existing system, which I don't think that's possible. The 14th Amendment was not originally something evil, but over the course of a century of time, its original intention has been warped and misunderstood in a very damaging way to cause people to unknowingly confer the nationality of U.S. citizen upon themselves, thus stripping all of their rights and causing themselves, as freemen of the Union, to be left barren with only the same privileges and immunities that were offered to the released, quote-unquote, Negroes after the ending of slavery. That's a whole other topic, but that's a really important one. 4, you promise to work towards the usage of real money, gold and silver coins, and to eliminate negotiable instruments, unconditional promises, and orders to pay to be circulated as currency. You understand and acknowledge the same dangers that the Founding Fathers warned us against regarding paper currency that is not tied to gold and silver coins. You understand that this negotiable instrument system creates homelessness, squalor, etc., and you agree that every man, woman, and child on the, well, he put planet, but plane, deserves the basic necessities of food, water, shelter, etc. You pledge yourself to be a soldier in the fight for a more just financial system where everyone can support themselves and their family without undue economic difficulty. And then finally he writes, there's much more, but this is going to conclude for today. These rules are not obligations and will never be subject to any specific scrutiny. These rules are a bond with ourselves as a moral and honorable duty that we ourselves take great pride and enjoyment fulfilling. There are not feelings of failure, shame, or guilt involving these ideas. We apply these rules to the best of our abilities at all times through our life and never feel an obligation towards these ideas. We are not a prisoner to our covenant. Our covenant is beauty and peace personified. Okay, so that's his ideas about what a free, peaceful nation should be like. And again, when you have that higher understanding of the Most Holy Trinity, we must put the Most Holy Trinity at the top as the ultimate goal for the transforming union. All right, so that's all I'm going to cover for today. I'll keep you posted on things, and I, just like CJ said, long-winded emails, basically I just don't have time for. So Miguel, if you're listening, the process that you're going through is one that many of us have, maybe not to the scholarly extent that you have, but in our opinion, you don't need that in order to have that relationship and understanding. Okay, there's something that's blocking you. Okay, so that's where you have to do your work. And to be honest with you, the rosary will unblock a lot. Okay, let's get started with Mass. Does anybody else at home drink out of a ball glass? Or jar? And when I do things big. So, and we have to get rid of fear. Fear is a big block. Deum vobiscum, quoque apote, oremus. O most Holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who liveth and reigneth with the one holy Trinity forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hoc immaculatum hostium, quam ego indi nius famulos tuos affediti Deum meum vivum et verum, pro in obedibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et promnibus circumstantibus sed promnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi didis proficietat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantia dignitatem mirabilitu condidisi et mirabilius reformasti, da morobis peruvius atque divinimis tenum, eius divinitatis esse consortes, qui militatis nostrae fieri dignatis es patecaps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecandis clementium ut aspectu divinae majestatis tuae, pro nostra totis mundi salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in anima contrito, suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum, et sec fiat sacrificium nostrum ec expetutu hodie. Uplacia tibi Deum matronam nostrae Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata prosequendo, et occupere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum omni praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas concoblationem quam tibi afferimus, a memorem passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae, et a Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Historum et Omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiet ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedit et in interim caelis, coram hominum agamis tedis periendum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat ab Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Et suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam nomini sui ad utiditatem quoque nostram, tot iusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud sursum corda habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Dei gito clementissimi Mater et Pater, Deum matronam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus ac petimus, uti accepta habeas et sanctificas haec sanctam sacrificium eribata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire ronale regere dineris toto opiterarum ecco catholicae. Memento Deum famulum cotuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Katie, Gage, R.M., Neil and Earl Lively, Maria Josephina Mose, Letitia, Mindy, Clarette, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, Ann Biltink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLarnon and family, Sarah, Becky, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria, and the Lineweber family, the Cahill, Kendrick, Dasco, Nye, Tafur, Began, Wolf, and Kane families, and all their intentions. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and the strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value medium of exchange with no usury within a Catholic nation. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society and begin the formation of that nation. We ask for the reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity, that women cease working for Freemasons and corporations, and for peace to begin to reign throughout all workplaces, that women come to understand that raising traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask for all these other intentions to be honored according to thy most holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fidis cognita est, et nota devotio pro quibus tibi ferimus, vel qui tibi affront hoc sacrificium laudis prose suis quamnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum prospe salutis et volumitatis suae, tibi credit vota sua, aeterno Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae semper Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium torum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meditis praecibusque cancedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae munium ad exilio per eam Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem ac tabellumque feceri dineris et nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat dilictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sanctus aqua venerabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in calamate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, frege didique lumis sui dicens accipit et mandacate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simili modo postquam ceremonia est accipienser hunc praeclarum calicem in sanctus aqua venerabilis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit didique lumis sui dicens accipit et vivite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, haec ut escumque feceritis in memum fecetis. Unde et memoris Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta Iustum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tambi et passionis nec non et benfidis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis offerimus, praeclare maiestati tuae de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio exereno vulturis piceri dineris, supplices teragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum iubi hec perferibum nostrum ut quod, ex hoc autoris participationis sacrosanctum Deum filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsenimus, omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia repe amor per eam Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Rhonda Romero, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibus in Christum quiscentibum locum refugeri ducis et pacis ut not orgesta proclamar per eam Christum Deum nostrum, perquam haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum matronum omnipotentium unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dei, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dei matronam nostrae, matronam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quaesimus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum abonibus males, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Dei matronam nostrae. Cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris. Ut ope misericordiae tuae aduit et peccato simul, semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per eundem Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum et quoque apud te. Haec mixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat excipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, cooperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinem tuum abonibus iniquitantibus meis et universis malis, et hoc me tui semper in horare mandatis, et in numquam separare permittas, qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum quod ego indinius sumere praesimo, non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi a tutum et obedisse corporis et ad medelam percipiendam, qui vivis et reinas cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem calestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Dea matronam nostrae non sundinius, et intercedete meis in sancta Dei verbos naveranum mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sundinius, ut intercedete meis in sancta Dei verbos naveranum mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sundinius, ut intercedete meis in sancta Dei verbos naveranum mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus, quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem in nomine Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis avusero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod ore sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus et timore, per effet nobis remedium sempiterno. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sonse sanguis quam potavi et hediat visceribus meis apraesta, ut in me non remaniat scela macula quam purat sancta revocatur sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, hic quoque apud te. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids. We beseech you, most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one most holy Trinity, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, hic quoque apud te, ite missa est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitutis meae et praesta, ut sacrificim coroculis tuae maestatis in inus authoritatis et captavere miquet omnibus, proquibus idut auctolis siti miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinity, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. All right, thanks for coming today. Thanks for being here. A lot of chat going on. That's good. Activity. So are you ready to set up the Catholic nation? All right. I will help with advising. Need the legs. Need leg work. It's easier to start when you're small, so now's a good time. And also, please pray that for now the IRS gets awakened, if you will, that they resist that resist what their bosses tell them to do, especially when it comes to settling the accounts of their own creations, so that we can be free. Basically, that's what it's all about. Okay, we can be free. We should be free. We are free. All right, please go and sanctify all those who meet. Thank you very much again, and we'll see you tomorrow, Saturday. We'll continue on with the Illuminati names used in baptism, evidences from the Rituale Romanum, which is the Congregation of Rites, all sorts of goodies. I got pictures too, but I know you can't see, they're too dark. But all right, sounds good. Thank you, William, and everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.